Have you ever looked at Hollywood and thought to yourself, it seems like one big club that we are not in? What if I told you that just about every celebrity in Hollywood was a part of an industry secret cult? A cult that's hidden in plain sight, and most people don't even realize it. Just ask yourself why we always see so many celebrities using the same imagery and symbols that don't seem to make sense to outsiders. Today, I will be exposing the secret code of Hollywood and revealing just how deep this goes. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be exposing the secret Saturn code of Hollywood. But before we begin, I just wanted to ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe so we can get this video seen by everyone who needs to see it. Thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. If you ever wondered why it seems like everyone in Hollywood is a part of one big club, it's because they are. The club they are all a part of is the Code of Saturn. If you pay attention to Hollywood long enough, you would notice that celebrities are always praising Saturn. Either they take pictures showing Saturn symbolism or place Saturn in their music videos and movies. Saturn is everywhere in Hollywood. But why? Why do all these celebrities feel the need to constantly use Saturn imagery? Well, the reason for this is far more sinister than you can ever imagine, and it goes back to ancient times. Since before ancient Rome, Saturn has been worshipped by many civilizations as a god. The first people to worship Saturn were the ancient Mesopotamians, specifically the Babylonians. They saw the planet as the god Kajamanu, or the star of Ninrudo. Eventually, this was adopted by ancient Greece. Ancient Greece saw Saturn as the god Kronos. Kronos was considered the god of time and agriculture who ruled over a golden age. The Romans worshipped this same god and named it Saturn, and saw Saturn as the god of time, death, generation, wealth, agriculture, and liberation. Saturn's reign was depicted as a golden age of abundance and peace. Saturn was often depicted as an old bearded man holding a scythe and an hourglass. He was also depicted devouring souls, as he was known as a devourer of time. In ancient Rome, Saturn was one of the most powerful gods in their belief system. Saturn was so important to the Romans that they celebrated him yearly during a 7-day festival called Saturnalia. Saturnalia was celebrated in December, starting December 17th, lasting until December 25th. During the festival, the Roman people would participate in several activities and rituals dedicated to the honor of the god Saturn. The festival was celebrated by feasting, gift-giving, and a carnival atmosphere. This celebration led to the birthday of another prominent Roman god, Sol Invictus, whose birthday was on December 25th. During this week-long period, the Romans would make offerings to Saturn, not just food offerings, but human offerings as well, as they were known for dedicating dead gladiators to Saturn as an offering. Saturnalia eventually became Christmas when the Roman Catholic Church chose December 25th to be Jesus' birthday. In order to keep their pagan Saturnalia alive, they merged it with Christian-themed beliefs. The first people to ever celebrate Christmas were the Roman Catholic Church in 336 AD. Due to Saturn being the god of time and agriculture, he was worshipped during the winter solstice because he was associated with death and rebirth. The pagans believed the winter solstice was the time where everything began to die before its rebirth. Since the end of the year marked the beginning of the winter, this period was ruled over by Saturn. During winter times, crops died and the nights were longer. This coincided with the death of the year and the rebirth of a new year. All of this Saturn mythology resulted in occultists worshipping Saturn for this very reason. The Code of Saturn was started in North Africa. This cult was known to practice ritual sacrifices to the god, often being a child offering given to Saturn for a good harvest. This Code of Saturn lives on in the shadows to this very day. The Freemasons have also been linked to Saturn, as they admire the god for the same reasons as the pagans. The Masons often use Saturn in their imagery. In fact, many occult-based cults and religions still worship Saturn to this very day. If you haven't realized it yet, Hollywood is full of occultists who communicate through symbolism. These occultists worship the same pagan gods as the Romans and other ancient civilizations. They believe they have to keep this pagan tradition alive in order to keep these ancient gods satisfied, as they believe they not only grant them blessings and wealth, but also keep them from destroying the world. In Hollywood, Saturn worship could be seen all over the industry, with many of the biggest celebrities showing their worship to Saturn. Hollywood openly worships Saturn, and most people don't even know it. Did you know that Hollywood has a yearly Saturn Award? Yearly, the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror hosts a Saturn Award, where the winner receives a trophy shaped as Saturn. This is open Saturn worship. Hollywood is still praising this ancient pagan god. Many of the biggest celebrities have been awarded this Saturn Award, and it's all in honor of the god. These celebrities have all been worshiping Saturn right in front of you the entire time. Let's take a look at many of these celebrities showing their alliance to the cult of Saturn. Back in 2017, Katy Perry did a performance where she was floating on a giant Saturn planet, clearly showing her alliance to the pagan god. She also went and got a Saturn tattoo on her wrist, marking herself with the symbol of the god. Lady Gaga wore a Saturn headpiece to the Ellen DeGeneres show. Saturn is often depicted having rings around the planet, with it having 7 main inner rings. This is what Gaga is depicting with this headpiece. It's the same that she's depicting with the outfit she wore for this SNL skit back in 2009. Kim Kardashian also wore a Saturn outfit, displaying Saturn's rings. Beyonce did the same, wearing a Saturn ring outfit while also wearing Saturn-themed rings, the same Saturn earrings that Adele was wearing during this performance. Adele also has Saturn tattooed on her arm, just like Miley Cyrus and Kesha. Miley Cyrus has Saturn tattooed on her arm, and Kesha has it on her hand. These earrings that Beyonce and Adele were wearing were both created by the designer and open occultist Vivienne Westwood. Vivienne Westwood is heavy into Saturn worship. Vivienne's brand logo is literally Saturn. In the 90s, she released her witch collection full of occult imagery. A lot of her designs are directly tied to pagan Saturn worship. Ariana Grande is big into Saturn worship as well. She has dropped 2 songs directly tied to her worship of Saturn. Her massive hit song 7 Rings is a direct reference to the 7 main rings of Saturn we spoke about earlier. She also released a song called Saturn's Return Interlude, which was about the Saturn's Return ritual we spoke about in my Ice Spice video. Now, for those that didn't catch that video, occultists believe that Saturn is connected to their rebirth. They believe in something called Saturn's Return. They call it a major astrological event that occurs when Saturn returns to the same position in the sky that it was as the day that they were born. This tends to happen around the age of 27 to the age of 30. In the occult world, this is seen as a moment of reflection, death, and rebirth, when a person reaches a new stage in their existence and their old self dies. This is why Ariana is singing about Saturn's return, just like SZA. SZA has a song on her last project called Saturn. Similarly to Ariana Grande's song, this song is all about Saturn's return. On SZA's album, she even displayed the Saturn imagery on the album cover. Another artist part of the Saturn cult is Taylor Swift. Back in 2020, she released a song called 7, which again refers to the 7 inner rings of Saturn. The song is about the coming of age moment connected to the Saturn return ritual. In the song, Taylor sings about how she loves you to the moon and Saturn, clearly indicating that the 7 is a reference to Saturn's rings. Taylor Swift also released a music video alongside Ice Spice, fully displaying the Saturn imagery. In the video, she shows herself holding the moon while Ice Spice is seen holding Saturn. The video also depicted the hourglass, which is associated with Saturn because Saturn was considered the god of time, and he was often depicted holding an hourglass. Taylor also depicted reapers in the music video holding Saturn's scythe. Stevie Wonder also has a song dedicated to Saturn as well, just like Kelsea Ballerini, who also dedicated an entire album to Saturn and her Saturn return ritual. On her album Patterns, the first song is all about her Saturn's return ritual. Another artist who dedicated her album to Saturn is Casey McGraves. She dropped an album and song called My Saturn Has Returned. Same thing with the singer Gwen Stefani, who dropped an album called Return of Saturn with her band No Doubt, which again was directly connected to the Saturn return ritual. Doja Cat also displayed the Saturn imagery as she depicted herself holding Saturn at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards. Interestingly enough, artist FKA Twigs claimed that the deaths associated with the 27 Club were directly connected to Saturn's return. If you don't know what the 27 Club is, it's a strange phenomenon regarding several celebrities that passed away at the age of 27. According to FKA Twigs, it's associated with the Saturn return ritual as she believes they were all in their Saturn return year. Remember, Saturn's return usually takes place between a person's 27th and 30th birthday, so it does make sense. All of this Saturn worship is not just in the music industry either. You can also see the same with Hollywood and their actors. The actress Emma Watson also spoke about her Saturn return ritual on Instagram, thanking it for changing her life. Actress Megan Fox spoke about her Saturn's return ritual, stating, "There's something in astrology called your Saturn's return. Saturn is the planet of karma and responsibility, and life lessons take 30 years to orbit your chart. So usually everyone in their 30th year have some self-realization to ensure they're going in the right direction. Or people who are extremely lost have some sort of a breaking point, some sort of low that they hit around that year." The Saturn worship can even be seen in the logos of the biggest brands. The Samsung Internet logo is a slanted Saturn. Burger King is another company that uses Saturn in their logo, as the logo shows the rings around the Burger King name, which represents the rings around the planet. Remember, the rings are an important symbol indicating Saturn. The planet Saturn is identified by its rings around the planet. DirecTV also uses Saturn's ring in their logo. It's the same thing with the car-making giants Nissan, which also incorporates Saturn's ring in the logo. As we can see, Nissan is surrounded by a ring, Saturn's ring. Capital One also has the same ring symbol in their logo, using half of Saturn's ring. The same thing with Citibank that also features Saturn's ring in their logo. Many of these popular logos use Saturn symbolism like the AAA logo, which clearly is again depicting Saturn's rings, and many others. Sega Saturn, the Saturn Car Company, it's literally everywhere. Even Christmas and Santa Claus are directly tied to Saturn. Like I already mentioned earlier, Saturn was celebrated by the Romans during the Saturnalia festival that coincided with modern Christmas. The Romans were known to celebrate Saturnalia like an X-rated version of Christmas. While they decorated their homes with evergreens and wreaths and gave gifts, they also ran wild through the streets and engaged in mass group hookups. Christmas comes directly from Saturnalia and other pagan religions and have nothing to do with Jesus Christ's birthday. Santa Claus is also based on Saturn. See, Saturn is depicted as an old man with a long beard who flies on a sled being pulled by reindeers. Saturn was depicted awfully similar. As you can see, they look exactly alike. It's because they are the same. While it is reported that Santa is just a made-up character inspired by the Catholic saint, St. Nicholas looks nothing like Santa is depicted. Santa is just Saturn, and that's pretty easy to tell. Now let's break down the real reason these celebrities all worship Saturn and why they do it. See, the god Saturn or Kronos is actually associated with the Canaanite god Baal or Moloch. Saturn is just a parallel to the god Baal and Moloch, two pagan gods that were forbidden from being worshipped in the Bible. Saturn is associated with Baal and Moloch primarily because of the Roman interpretation of their similar characteristics, particularly the practice of child sacrifice offerings, which was attributed to both Baal and the Roman Saturn god, leading to their identification in Roman mythology. The Romans equated their own god Saturn with the Greek god Kronos, who was also known for his violent and sometimes cannibalistic behavior towards his children. Kronos was known for eating his own children to prevent them from overthrowing him. Since the Romans knew about this, they would often make child offerings to Saturn. Baal is considered the king of demons under Lucifer in demonology. Baal was believed to grant financial blessings to those that followed him and made sacrifices to him. This is why the ancient Romans and Greeks were known for performing child offerings to Kronos or Saturn. This is what these celebrities are worshipping, the demons that serve Lucifer and are willing to bless them with endless riches for sacrifices. There is no way you can see all this evidence and not open your eyes to what's really going on. These celebrities are openly participating in pagan god worship, a pagan god that has been historically linked to child offerings. They are letting us know time and time again they are committed to the worship of an evil forbidden god. Millions of fans see all these people worshiping Saturn and think nothing of it. They think these celebrities are just using Saturn imagery because it fits their theme. But these celebrities are telling us they are worshippers of Saturn. This is why I warn against following and idolizing these celebrities. They are leading people to a burning end for riches and fame. They have chosen to serve Saturn, as they would do anything for its demonic blessings. Well, I'm gonna end this one here, but before you guys go, I would like to kindly ask you guys to subscribe if you're not. Please comment and share this video so others who need to see this get a chance. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.